When the Eldar first rose from the bosom of the ground, nourished by the tears of Isha, the gods came to them, and each offered them a gift. Aeldari, Lord of Lords, gave the Eldar wisdom, that they would know themselves. Isha gave the Eldar love, that they would know one another. Vol gave the Eldar artifice, that they would make their dreams a reality. Lilith gave the Eldar joy, that they would know happiness. Kuranos gave the Eldar desire, that they would know prosperity. Moraheg gave the Eldar foresight, that they would know their place in the world. Cain gave the Eldar anger, that they would protect what the gods had given them. Hello, and welcome back to the Wisdom of Warhammer channel, and in today's video, I will be going over the Aeldari Pantheon. I will talk about the history of them and their fall, and what the surviving gods are doing. I will finish up with the gods and what they do. Like in my other videos, I do not own the artwork in the video, and all things Warhammer owned by Games Workshop and Black Library. And now, with the intro out of the way, let's get the video started, shall we? A majority of Aeldari mythology is extremely blurry, and there is not a lot of info, but here is the info we have. The first mortal Eldar was named Slaanesh, whose parents were Isha, the goddess of fertility, and Kuranos, the god of the hunt. So all Eldar are descendants of the Pantheon. After some time, the Eldar god of war Cain was manipulated by the goddess of dreams named Lilith into killing the mortal Eldar by convincing him about a prophecy where the descendants of Slaanesh killed him. He was convinced and he began his rampage. And from this Isha wept, but the Phoenix King Aeldari had learned of what Cain and Lilith did, so he put up a barrier between the Pantheon and the children of Isha. The reason he did this was to prevent a civil war, but one of the gods felt a different way, and it was Vol, the Eldar god of smithing. He felt bad for his niece, and he crafted the Waystone, so he and her husband could communicate with her children. From this, they taught the mortal Eldar many things, but sadly this would end. When the two gods were talking about their children, Cain overheard them, and when he found out about them breaking the Phoenix King's decree, he went to Aeldari and told him about the two. Hearing this, the Phoenix King, with heavy heart, gave Isha and Kuranos to Cain, and he could do whatever he wanted to punish them. Vol came to the god of war after some time and asked for mercy for his niece and nephew. So he told Cain he would make 100 swords, each better than the last. Cain accepted, but he gave the Forge Master 1 year, and Vol wasted no time in forging. But he never finished the task, and put a regular sword in the pile to confuse his brother. Cain released the two gods, but he found the weak sword and went to find the two gods, and from this the Eldar War in heaven began. Aeldari went to the goddess of fate, Moraheg, to find out the future of the gods, and saw that all paths led to death and pain. Then she grabbed a thimble of blood of Cain, and from this she put the drop of blood on her scales, and then a strand of fate from the hero Slaanesh, and they both weighed equal on the scales. She brought this news to the Phoenix King and told that the fate of the gods would be in the hands of their mortal worshippers. Then Vol, wielding the most powerful blade he forged, named Inaris, the Light of Dawn, fought the god of war and held his own, but he lost to Cain, and then was chained to his anvil and was banished from heaven. Cain saw the power in Inaris and went to pick it up, but Falshon the Falcon, who is the consort of the Great Hawk, swooped down and grabbed the blade, with Cain roaring in rage. The Falcon flew through the barrier and delivered the blade to Slaanesh. Eventually, Cain broke through the barrier and went to find the mortal hero, Slaanesh, and interestingly, they fought alongside each other multiple times. This was the past, and now Cain's hatred for Slaanesh burned in his fiery heart. And both beings dueled, and it was obvious the god of war won, and Slaanesh was no more. Again, Cain was never able to get the divine blade, Inaris, and the body of Slaanesh was carried by the Falcon into the sky with his blood dripping. From this event, the moon above the planet of the birth of the immortal Eldar became a blood moon, which served as a dark reminder for the Eldar for eons until the fall of the Eldar Empire when Slaanesh was born. But before that event, Cain was the victor of the Eldar War in heaven. But his brother Aeldari placed a curse on him, which made one of his hands continuously bleed. The reason his brother gave him this curse, which was to remind him of the cost of his unchecked wrath. Now the Eldar know him as Cain the Bloody-Handed, or in the Eldar language, Kala Mencha Cain. Now there is not much history after this event until the birth of Slaanesh. When She Who Thirsts was born, the first thing she did was consume most of the Pantheon. The gods she consumed were Aeldari, Moraheg, Lilith, Vol, Kronos, Gaia, and Hoek, and from this, she gained a massive power boost. When she found Cain, she had a pretty easy fight but wasn't able to kill him, but she was able to destroy him with a shard which spread throughout the galaxy, and now each craft world has a shard of him. From activating this shard, which requires a gruesome ritual to summon the avatar of Cain when the craft world needs it. Another god had escaped the clutches of Slaanesh. It was Isha, but she is rumored to be in the chains of the plague god Nurgle, who feeds her dangerous plagues, but whispers cures when he isn't looking. The third Eldar god that survived was of course Kegrak, who is the laughing god, and he went into the webway. As time went on, he created his own faction of Eldar called the Harlequins, who are his personal army that spread their twisted humor to the galaxy. And they tend to be a pain in the neck for Slaanesh and her minions. One thing that Kegrak does with his worshippers is that he holds their souls instead of going to Slaanesh, unless they're the solitaires, which automatically go to She Who Thirsts. Now, the last god is a very new one in the Eldar Pantheon, and their name is Ynid, which is the Eldar god of death. This being is also called the Whispering God because it is not fully formed, but half-formed, and is mostly in the minds of the Eldar. It was supposed to be formed during a ritual which was interrupted by the Death Watch, but the energy created the avatar of Ynid, which is called the Incarn, and the emissary is named Yvraine, who was a very skilled Eldar warrior before she became the emissary of the Whispering God. Also, from this failed ritual, it created a new faction of the Eldar called the Ynnari, which is composed of Eldar from the Craft Worlds, Kamara, Exodite Worlds, and the Harlequins. Their main goal is to get all the Crone Swords to possibly fully awaken the Eldar God of the Dead, and the last one is in Slaanesh's hands, but rumor has it, it was given to Fulgrim. I think the souls of the Eldar gods that were consumed by Slaanesh are still inside the Dark Prince, and I wonder what the remaining gods of the Eldar will do. But I have explained the history, and you are wondering what they are the gods of. Start off with the leader of the gods, the Phoenix King Aeldari, and he is the most powerful, but he doesn't really do much except give his brother Cain the curse and put up a barrier between the realms of the gods and the children of Isha and Kronos. I said his brother was Cain, the god of war, who of course was not the nicest of the Eldar Pantheon, who slaughtered thousands of mortal Eldar and tortured Isha and Kronos. Of course, we have to get to the other brother of the three, and he's obviously Vol, god of smiths. Then, like most of the Pantheon and his brother Aeldari, he was consumed in the birth of Slaanesh. Going into a couple of the goddesses, we have Gaia, who is a consort of the Phoenix King Cain, but not much info on her. Then we have a major goddess, the one who made Cain start butchering the mortal Eldar, and she is named Lilith, goddess of dreams and fortune. She is the daughter of Isha and was the youngest of the Eldar gods. Then we have one more interesting goddess, and her name is Moraheg, who is the goddess of fate and souls, and she is a consort of Cain. She is apparently of the goddess Trinity, who are Lilith, Isha, and of course Moraheg, and her appearance is withered and ancient, but she is powerful. Now, the Crone Swords are actually the fingers of Mora after she convinced Cain to cut off her hand to drink her own blood. Cain gained the knowledge of the Banshee, and from this, the Halloween Banshee aspect warrior was eventually created after the fall of the Eldari Empire. Now we have 4 more divine beings going into the father of the Slaanesh, Kronos, who is the god of the hunt, and the animals that represent him are hounds, hawks, and other beasts that hunt. He was tortured alongside his wife, and of course was consumed by Slaanesh when she was born. The next divine being is Hoek, and he is a wanderer that walks between realms and is revered by the Eldar Pathfinders, who are assassins and see Hoek as one with the webway. Now, almost finishing up with the Pantheon, this being named Drumlek, which means the Cosmic Serpent, and he is in between realms, and he is an ally of Kegarak. He does have children which are named Starweaver, Voidweaver, Skyweaver, who are also allied to the Laughing God. Drumlek allowed Kegarak to ride on his back when needed, and from this alliance, the vehicles of the Harlequins are named after the children of Drumlek. The Eldar of the craft world of Samhan use the rune of the Cosmic Serpent, and they bear his rune on their vehicles and armor. Now we are finishing up with the legend himself, Kegarak, who is the trickster god of the Eldar. He has evaded the hands of Slaanesh and her minions for a very long time. He tends to pull tricks on the Dark Prince and the other Chaos gods, as well as the other factions in the 40k universe, and his home base is in the Black Library, which is the library with the most knowledge of chaos and is guarded by the Harlequins. Now, I wonder what will happen when the Eldar God of Death awakens and the Yurnari get the Crone Swords, and will the consumed gods of the Eldar come back? Now we have gotten to the end of this video on the Eldar Pantheon, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. And if you did, hit the like button and send it to someone who would like this content. If you are new and would like to see more, hit the subscribe button and bell notification to be notified for when a new video comes out. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. This is Wisdom of Warhammer, signing off.